What is going on, guys? Rewinds here, and in this video we are going to be talking about Boruto in the year of 2025. I feel like this was a pretty good idea to do simply because we're about to wrap up the year, and so I thought a reflection video could have been a cool idea. So in this video I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of Boruto in the year of 2025. Talk about some of your favorite moments. Talk about maybe stuff you might have not liked. Talk about your favorite chapter, perhaps, and maybe just some expectations you may have for Boruto going in 2026. Whether that be manga related or anime related, feel free to comment that below. And on another note, Merry Christmas to anybody that does celebrate, because I'm probably going to have this video going up on Christmas. So Merry Christmas if you celebrate. But on to the video. So, Boruto, I'm going to talk about the anime end first here. And that's because there isn't much to really speak on this, since we don't really have any new animated content in the year of 2025, which does suck, of course, but I feel like it's for the best at the moment. That's at least how I'm viewing things regarding Boruto when it comes to the anime end, because I would rather not see Boruto's anime just doing a lot of filler episodes, or, if we step it up and did anime canon episodes and tried to connect it to the story. Even then, I feel like some of that was getting a little bit more rougher towards the ending parts of Boruto in the anime. So I'm kind of glad we're on a break, even though we do have new content they can adapt, no doubt. But I feel like I'm glad we're on break for the year of 2025 at least. I would like to see Boruto get its anime back though by 2027 though. Hopefully, fingers crossed for that. That's just me speculating and hoping, but 2027 would be nice to see Boruto get its anime back, because we definitely have enough content to even come back in 2026 if they make Boruto seasonal, which is pretty much what's going to be happening, because that's the route the other two big hitters of the studio went, those being Bleach and Black Clover, which both are getting parts out in 2026. So my assumption is that we might get some Boruto stuff in 2027 or maybe 2028, because they will be done with Bleach next year, so they'll at least be able to shift some focus over, hopefully, to the Boruto front, because at that point the only other thing they'll really be managing in terms of the high quality is gonna be Black Clover. So that's kind of my thoughts on the anime. The other thing I'm gonna say is we should, fingers crossed, hopefully be getting these rumored 4 episodes of Naruto. Well, confirmed 4 episodes of Naruto, but rumored release date being sometime next year. I hope that actually happens, because at least it would be some new content for us to consume. I feel like we've been in a drought for a while, so we could definitely use that. But that's my thoughts on the anime side of things. Now, regarding the manga for Boruto this year was fire. Being straight up about it, no sugarcoating or anything, I really enjoyed it. I'm not even like trying to overhype it or anything like that. I just really think the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga overall this year was pretty good. And it had, some chapters definitely that were slower every once in a while, but they were some good setup and build up chapters. Meanwhile, we had a lot of hype chapters as well this month. It was definitely a big year. I would say you could make a case that Boruto 2 Blue Vortex had its best year this year. You could make a case for that, but you could make a case for that being possibly, year one as well, because Boruto 2 Blue Vortex came out pretty hot with the content it did. So I feel like you could make a case for that in 2024 as well. Or not 2024, I think it was mid to end of 2023, that stretch. Like, you could say it could have been that. 2024 was pretty damn hype as well, because you had all the stuff going on with I'm pretty sure that was the year we had Himovari versus Jura, we had Boruto versus Mitsuki, we had what's it called, the whole fight that happened with Hidari, I believe. That was one of the ones where we had Boruto and Sarada teaming up. I think that was happening. We had the presence ability explained and revealed. Um, and I think at the end of the year, we were building up a little bit more towards that side of things of setting up for the Sand Arc. But 2024 and 2023, honestly, you could make a case for either of them being Boruto 2 Blue Vortex's best year as well. But I think this year may have it for me, or it'd be very close if I really sat down and did a chapter to chapter. But I think this year has it for me because this year we kicked it off with us already in the Sand Arc. It did start off like a little bit, more calm on the first like month and first 2 months, maybe even because we were having the whole Matsuri and Ryu stuff being built up with them trying to execute that plan and separate them off, and that whole Matsuri build up with Konohamaru. And then we had that stuff really ramp up, I believe, in chapter 20, where we had like that pretty cool narration too when Konohamaru went in and had that big moment of like actually hitting Matsuri with the Rasengans, and that was with Jura narrating and all that, and that was pretty cool. And we also had Sarda awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan. That was a really good ending to that chapter. But that actual chapter where we got to see Sarda's Mangekyo Sharingan actually showcase, I believe, may have been my favorite chapter of this year when it came to Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. I feel like that was pretty hype, and we got to see Boruto show up and save Konohamaru from what was left of Matsuri as well in a pretty cool fashion. I think that was my favorite chapter this year. But, it didn't really slow down too much from there either, because then you went on and you had Boruto fight Jura, because Jura pulled up to that battle a little bit afterwards, and we got to see that fight go on. That's going to be pretty damn hype, especially when he gets animated at some point. I could see that being pretty fun. We got to see Boruto pretty much struggle on that front, and we know he was really just buying time, but that was definitely something that I feel like was a pretty good chapter, leading up to then Kawaki making a pretty fire entrance and him showing up in his powered up state as well. And we also had that one chapter with Jura just kind of flexing his power and whatnot. So really we had a lot of hype stuff this month, this year, especially with the whole Sand Arc reaching its conclusion. That was some pretty cool stuff. Then we, kind of went on towards the end of the summer to, more like that August and September time, where we started going a little bit more into build-up mode, and we started building up this whole Mamushi attack thing. And we also got introduced to Lord Kobo, who is definitely a problem still right now too for some of the protagonists right now, and that's going to carry on into 2026. But we had some stuff, for example, with the whole Sarada and Sumire thing, with Ada being revealed and Sarada and Sumire having that chapter as well. Meanwhile, we also got that showcase, I think, of Himawari training with Kurama. That was pretty cool. And then seeing Momoshiki and Boruto having that chat. So, all in all, we had some pretty damn cool stuff, even in the build-up section. Because then you also had the whole thing with Inojin getting pulled in, being explained to stuff, and then us actually ramping up to set up for this whole Mamushi attack. And then now in chapter 28, towards the end, we got to see that really kick off. And now in 29, we're pretty much in full effect as it comes to that chapter. So yeah, after a little bit more thought, I think that this is my favorite year of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. I really do. It's close with 2024 or even 2023, because again, I've said it in some of my reviews, but I don't think Boruto 2 Blue Vortex has genuinely had a bad chapter yet. And I feel like there's been a lot of great chapters spread out, especially when we look at the start, we look at some of the peaks of what we had in 2024, and then now looking to 2025, where we got to see the build-up payoff for the Sand Arc, and a us pretty much having this build up now for this Mamushi arc, and with that starting to pay off too towards the end of chapter 28 and now throughout chapter 29, it's going to be pretty, interesting to see now if 2026 can top that as well, because the bar is kind of high, I'm not going to lie. I hope Ikimoto keeps his foot on the gas, and hopefully hopefully this arc gets a resolution within the first, I want to say, 6 months. But I don't know what Ikimoto's plan is. Of course, he could add some twists and turns into this arc, and next thing you know, Hidari and Juro have to end up getting involved, and it just gets all chaotic, and then that would definitely extend the arc. But if it's going to stay only towards Mamushi, I hope we get it done by hopefully May-ish at the latest. Not because I have a problem with the character or anything like that. I think that the way they're doing everything right now is cool, but I'm just kind of basing it off of pacing we've had for the past couple arcs. I feel like a 4 to 6 month window in 2026 would be a good idea. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys thought of all the Boruto manga content we got in 2025. I overall, I'm definitely very pleased, and I'm hoping we progress in a good way in 2026. I do miss some of my OGs, I can't lie. I do miss seeing Sasuke and Naruto, of course, with those two being around so much. But it is definitely the time for, some of the new gen to shine. So we'll see. Hopefully one day we get to see those two make a return, and hopefully get to see them do something cool to end off the story whenever that time comes. But hoping we head in that direction, and hopefully a lot of the new gen gets to shine in this whole Mamushi raid arc that we're about to have right now going on, and we'll see from there. But that's kind of where my head's at for Boruto in the year of 2025. Hopefully I have more to talk about from the anime side of things when it comes to 2026, whether that be an announcement news or just something else. It would just be good to be able to talk more about it. So hopefully that ends up coming true. Regarding the manga, I have no doubt we're going to get some memorable content next year, whether it be in a good way or a bad way. So we'll see about that. But that's going to wrap up this one. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about Boruto in the year of 2025. But if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day or night whenever you guys are watching this video. I'm Rewinds, and I'm out.